Alright, people, we're back. LegalElbow.com. I'm your host. This is Brian. A couple little things I wanted to say about LegalElbow.com. We recently had some problems with the network we signed on. Just kind of bunch of problems with people trying to get memberships and stuff like that. Couldn't do it. Couldn't get it going. And I'm like, you know what? We're paying for this now because I started paying on, signed on the dotted line. Started paying for it all. So I'm like, you know what? If this kind of crap's going down, I'm out of here. So, anyway, a little Strikeforce recap for you guys. The Illegal Elbow page will be, the domain's there, okay? So I'm still working on it, still getting it up and running. If you guys want to take a look at illegalelbow.webs.com, WEBS, take a look there, man. That's pretty much kind of close to what we're going to have, so it's nothing, crazily spectacular, but it's pretty damn cool. So that looks to be our new home for a little while, until we get up and running at the actual domain itself. So anyway, Strikeforce Houston recap, post fight for all y'all. Anyway, Griggs taking on Lashley. I didn't know what to expect with Griggs. I had no idea what Griggs was about. So coming in though, Lashley looked good, man. Lashley it was your normal Lashley in the first round, doing really well, and then he started catching a couple of shots from Griggs. Griggs starting to look pretty good, you know. Griggs was Griggs definitely did a lot of good homework, a lot of really good studying video and stuff like that, and figuring out what Lashley's about. You know what I mean? Going into the second round, Lashley started looking really tired, because Griggs, probably the whole second half of the first round, Griggs was on the defense, you know what I mean? While Lashley had him down and stuff like that. On the defense, looking really good. Um, later in the second round, um, Griggs starts kind of pouring it on. Defense is looking really good. Lashley's kind of getting you know, limited on what he can do here. You know what I mean? Because he's getting really tired. You know what I mean? Got a nasty cut on his eye. Going into the third though, they even asked him like, "You want to continue?" And he's like, "Yeah, I want to go. I want to keep going." So we get in the third round. Griggs is stuffing takedowns and whatnot. Lashley's got him in the corner, got him against the cage, trying to get him down. Just taking a lot of shots, a lot of punches. Can't get Griggs down, man. He could not take Griggs down. Griggs got a great takedown defense. Great takedown defense. So, landed some nasty shots, some hammer fists, right on the side of Lashley's face. And pretty much broke Lashley's will, man. Lashley didn't want to be in that fight anymore. He basically quit. He's like, man, I don't want to be in here anymore. That's not what he said exactly, but it may as well have been. So he quits. Griggs gets the win, man. That was a huge win for Griggs. Like I said, I didn't know a whole lot about Griggs going into this, but I really hope to see the guy move on, man, because that was a badass win. He pretty much took Lashley apart. Not saying that Lashley was like something amazing, but to me it was like Lashley looks really good. I'm talking before this fight. Lashley's always looked really good, but I don't want to say one dimensional, a few dimensional, a few times dimensional. You know what I mean? He had a few things to his game. Not full enough of a fighter. You know what I mean? Not complete enough. So that's my take on it. And Griggs exploited that pretty well. So KJ Noon's taking on George Gurgel. Gurgel looked really good, man. Really good coming into this fight, and I expected a good assault from George Gurgel, man. A good assault. I expected a lot from KJ Noon at the same time, though, and he delivered. He totally delivered. Um, Gurgel doing a really good job at kind of staying away from the punches. You know what I mean? Staying away from KJ's hands. You know what I mean? A lot of leg kicks. You know, just keeping away. You know, altogether. And it's just it was really only a matter of time. You know what I mean? KJ Noon's got in there, got the shots that he wanted to get on. Because he's a great boxer, man. KJ Noon's an awesome boxer. Gurgel got hit with a couple of nasty shots. Gurgel started firing off right toward the end of the first round. And as soon as that bell rang, KJ Noons came out with a left and just clobbered him. Put Gurgel on his ass. You know what I mean? Which, in my opinion, kind of sucks because it was clear after the bell. If anybody wants to contest that, that's cool, whatever. But, you know, I mean, watch it back. Clear after the bell, he starts swinging. It's like ding, then here comes the punch. You know what I mean? It was close, but the punch started well after the bell. And he landed it on Gurgel. Gurgel went down like a bag of dirt. And like my buddy Joe from Virginia, um, it's like, man, are you going to let Gurgel come out for the second round? The guy's fucking off his rocker, man. The guy is rocked. So you get in the second round, and it's just a cat and mouse game. Gurgel has got nothing at this point because he's probably can't even see straight. You know what I mean? KJ Noon is just picking off shots, and sooner or later it's like, okay, I'm getting to you. You're done. Gurgel's pretty much done, and Gurgel goes to ground position. You know, lands on his back and whatnot, and KJ Noon brings in a ground kick. I mean, what do you want to call it? You know, a knee while Gurgel was down, or some kind of kick while Gurgel was down. I mean, he was clearly down. There wasn't no hand knee or kind of hand on the ground kind of deal. Motherfucker was down, and KJ Noons brought in a knee or a kick, one of the two. And I thought that, okay, that's two strikes against you. You know what I mean? It doesn't really look good. You know what? It doesn't matter what way they would have disqualified him or whatever. KJ Noons beat the friggin' crap out of Gurgel. No other way of putting it, really. So I mean, if you want the absolute truth, yeah, Gurgel got his ass whipped, but at the same time, and it would have ended up that way either way, whether those punches would have came in or not, in my opinion. But because he would have caught that shot, either or, you know what I mean? I don't know, man. I just think I think Gurgel's good. I think George Gurgel's really good, but I don't. He's not on the level of a KJ Noon. He's just not. I feel like to say it. Kennedy versus Jacare. Jacare was a little standoffish in this fight, I thought. Because it wasn't the same Jacare you normally see. He's spinning back elbows, and, you know, just classiness, you know what I mean? A lot of, not classiness, but flashiness. You know, a lot of that flashiness wasn't there, man. It was like a straight up boxer in this fight. And Kennedy was able to kind of, you know, as far as punch stats and shit like that goes, he was able to really kind of impose some game, you know what I mean? Impose some will. Not saying that it really mattered much, because as far as the punch stats go and shit like that, Tim Kennedy pretty much looked better, but there was no power. Tim Kennedy's got a serious problem with power. I'll go ahead and say it. I like Tim Kennedy. I'd like to see him get up and get things moving, but against Jacare, man, he had no power. Just really no power at all. It's like a lot of his shots were like just picking off, you know. It's like Chael Sonnen versus Anderson Silva. All kinds of punches when they're on the ground when he's in the advantageous position, but it's like just peppering him with bullshit shots. Just shots that aren't gonna fucking hurt anybody, but they're just score pointing. You know what I mean? Scoring points. That's it. So pretty much what Kennedy was doing. You know, and I'm not ragging on the guy. I think he did really well. Probably did a lot better than a lot of other guys did. But I think Jacare, like I said in the beginning, I think Jacare was a little bit standoffish in this fight. He should have probably let his hands go a little bit more. You know what I mean? You don't have to get flashy with it. Just let your hands go. Let the kicks go. You know what I mean? So I suppose you could. I suppose he could have been a little more susceptible to something landing on him, but it'd have been a little better of a sure deal because he clearly won the fight. You know what I mean? I don't think anybody can really make an argument for Kennedy winning that fight, even though the punch stats look good. Kennedy did not win that fight. So anyway, Jacques our champion, Strikeforce, fantastic. King Mo, light heavyweight champion, taking on Rafael Fagel. I don't even know if I can say his name right. Cavalcanti? Cavalcanti. Something like that. Anyway, Fagel taking on King Mo. King Mo looked really good, really flashy, just like he normally does, really cocky, and very much like Roy Jones Jr. Roy Jones Jr. fashion, coming out swinging, hand really low. You know what I mean? This whole my hand is down by my knees and shit like that kind of crap. Just fucking stupid. Just same old cocky bullshit. And when I saw that, I'm like, you know what? If he wins this fight, it's just going to be boring. It's just going to be bullshit. And I'm tired of seeing this guy. And this fight proved a lot of shit to me, though. It just kind of proved to me that, you know, King Mo's really good. He's got a lot to learn. And this loss will help him learn a lot of shit. But it goes to show that the way things are judged in MMA and in Strikeforce and whatnot, however else you want to look at it, they're judged wrongly. I mean, completely wrong. Because it is like when I read in the rules, the Strikeforce, it said, oh, you know, based on ground control. Well, that's the whole reason why Mousasi lost, because if you're in the advantageous position, which King Mo was in the Mousasi fight, but they failed to realize that Mousasi was fucking him up from the guard. They have no idea what guard is in their judging, because Mousasi killed him, and his eye looked like a friggin' softball coming out of the fight, but he won the fight. It's like they just completely lost track of what they needed to take into consideration in judging the fight. So going back to the Fagel fight, I like the fact that Fagel didn't let it go to that kind of a deal. Fagel said, okay, you know what? If he's going to take me down, I'm going to have some superior skills at getting back up from the ground. I'm not going to, you know, show off my ground skills or, you know, my elbows from the ground and all that shit. I'm not going to fuck his eye up. I'm going to knock him the fuck out. And he did that. He let King Mo completely wear himself out. King Mo completely wore himself out. Excuse me. A little bush light action. Normally do Coors Light, but money's a little tight right now. Anyway, anyway, Fagel basically let King Mo. I mean, in a nutshell, he let King Mo wear himself out. King Mo wore himself out. Couldn't move like he wanted to. You know, in the third round. You know, was a little sluggish. You know, with his Roy Jones Jr. tactic. You know, with his arms way low and coming in and acting like a badass. And he got caught. He got right on the friggin' chin, man. And he was rocked. Fagel came in, finished the deal up. Nice, man. Nice job by Fagel. Rafael Fagel, baby's our new champion. You know what? I think with this kind of deal going on right here, I think the next fight should be Fagel versus Gegard Mousasi. At least let that guy try. At least let him have a chance. Because they didn't let it, you know, they'll probably do the King Mo thing. Oh, yeah, King Mo. Let him have another shot. They didn't give Gegard Mousasi another chance at the championship. You know. So that's what I'm thinking, man. Let him have a shot, but we'll see you guys, man. See ya.